The Bitter Birds are going to party like it's 1999, and we have a special guest today. Coming back from the dead, it's Mr. Pug Peterson.
There he is. He hasn't been around in a while, but he's here too. He's ready to celebrate and get ready for training camp. How long's training camp? It's like a week and a half away, 2 weeks? Oh yeah, he's so excited. How you guys doing?
This Pug, which team does he like better? Does he like the 1999 one or this one?
Well, he wasn't around for '99, but I think he's
That's true.
more optimistic about about this year's Eagles because, well, first of all, if if a receiver doesn't get more than 655 yards, like Torrance Small led our team in '99, I think we're in trouble.
Well, if Jordan Matthews and Zach Ertz get hurt, we're kind of fucked. Bring Mike on. Mike, how's it going?
Oh yeah, doing good. Just ready to compare this team compared to '99. It's interesting looking back. A lot of the similarities, but at the same time, also a lot of differences. So really dive into it today. But yeah, kind of going back in time here, because really with Doug Peterson, what you get is Andy Reid 2.0. Peterson's been with Andy Reid for so long as a player and a coach, so there's going to be a lot of similarities in this Doug Peterson system.
Yeah, definitely, and you got the whole correlation with we had the number 2 pick in this year and '99 draft. So, you got the future franchise quarterback coming in. We all know how Donnie Mack turned out. He was the much better pick over Tim Couch. So, and I think Carson Wentz is the better pick over Jared Goff. So, you might have to wait a little longer to see him, or maybe not. I think Donovan came in around maybe week 11 or 12 in '99. Not 100% sure on that number, but yeah, he came in later in the season, won a couple games for us. So, who knows? Hopefully, we have a better record this in 2016 than the terrible '99 season.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many games Carson Wentz plays this year. Donovan started 6 games in '99, threw 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, only completed 49.1% of his passes, 948 yards in all. So D-Mac, got some time. It seems like Carson's not going to get as much. We shall see. But let's start with Peterson and Reid. I mean, Jesus Christ, the similarities, they're right there. Nobody wanted Andy Reid in '99. Everybody wanted Mike Holmgren. Mike Holmgren was the guy. Jim Haslett was the other one. And, well, it was Andy, who wasn't even a defensive coordinator or an offensive coordinator. Everybody was like, who? Who the fuck is Andy Reid?
Yeah, the only difference really is that, Andy Reid, when he came here, whatever he was going to do, it was going to be an improvement on the previous season because Ray Rhodes finished with only 3 wins the season before. So, Doug Peterson, he comes in here and he's got to try to improve upon a 7-win season. So, that's a lot tougher to do. So, the expectations really aren't that high for this season. So, in that sense, similarities there between Peterson and Reid with pretty low expectations, and they both went out as first-year head coaches and got their quarterback for the future. With that second pick in the draft.
Yeah, you look back at Andy Reid in '99. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody else interviewed him. Kind of similar to Doug Peterson now, and he improved by a couple wins that first year, but then in 2000 we went ahead and I think we won 11 games. They went from 5-11 to 11-5. Hopefully, we keep on improving with Doug Peterson from 7 wins. I think my expectations are right around the 7 to 9 win range. Depending on how everything plays out, but. There's obviously a lot of similarities. Doug Peterson actually played for the '99 team, and now it's kind of funny. 16, 17 years later, there he is. So he didn't have a very, very good season in '99. He threw more picks than touchdowns, but we didn't expect much that year. We were mostly ran the ball. I mean, Deuce Staley had a good year as far as yardage goes. I'm just looking forward to see what Doug brings to the table. I think our offense, our players, and Sam Bradford and our quarterbacks can fit his scheme pretty well. It's quarterback friendly, and I'm anxious to get training camp started.
Yeah, so many similarities with the offenses too. Shitty ass receivers. You brought it up. Torrance Small led the team with what was it again? 655 yards. That's pathetic. It's terrible. So you got shitty wide receivers. There is one big difference though in offense, and that was Deuce Staley. Deuce Staley ran for over 1,200 yards. He was a workhorse. He was a beast back then. We don't have anybody like that. Ryan Matthews. I mean, if he can play 16 games, possibly to get 1,200 yards, but inevitably he's going to get hurt because that's what happens. And, the other thing is Andy Reid, Doug Peterson, they're going to want to throw the ball to their running backs, and Ryan Matthews probably has the worst hands out of any running back in the whole fucking league.
Oh yeah, I mean, you go and you look at the wide receivers that we had. I mean, you're talking about Torrance Small. I mean, Charles Johnson, Nate Brown, even Dietrich Gell. So, I mean, it was
Doug was my favorite.
Oh yeah, definitely. And but you talk about the offense, and you talk about how the '99 team, how they had Deuce Staley. Obviously, that's a advantage there for the '99 team. And you kind of look at the tight end position. That's when the Eagles had Chad Lewis, but I don't think Chad Lewis really did much that season, did he?
Oh, let's check it out real quick.
We only got like 400 some yards, maybe.
Oh, he didn't do anything. He only had 76 yards. Seven catches, 76 yards.
Yeah, okay. Looks like
Jed Weaver was our tight end.
Jed Weaver.
Jed Weaver. We had no production from our tight ends at all.
About that. So that's where you look at the team this year, and you give the advantage to our tight ends this year. They're going to be a huge part of the offense, and I mean we're even talking about Ertz possibly getting close to 1,000 yards receiving, and that team in '99, the tight ends really did jack shit. So gotta give the advantage to the tight ends for this current team, but overall, offenses are about the same.
Yeah, I mean, there just wasn't a lot of passing yardage to go around on that '99 team at all. We just didn't throw the ball much. I mean, like Adrian said, Deuce ran a lot, and our offense didn't have the ball that much because they kind of stunk. So hopefully our offense, moves the ball a lot better this year. We get more statistics on the offensive side. But what's interesting is the defensive side of the ball, there's some pretty good playmakers that '99 team had. I mean, especially in the secondary, you had B-Dog and Troy Vincent and Bobby Taylor in their prime. You had a young Jeremiah Trotter. I'm sure Hugh Douglas was there, and we got all the studs on our defense this year. Malcolm Jenkins, Rodney McLeod, big guy in the middle, Fletcher, Benny Logan, and these pass rushers. Two different kind of defensive schemes, but with Jim Johnson, Jim Schwartz, but both I think will be very effective with the talent on both rosters.
Yeah, our defenses for both the '99 team and this team were the strong points of the team, but just completely different styles. You look at Jim Schwartz; he likes to rush 4, drop back 7. Well, Jim Johnson, he brought the heat on like every play. He would bring 8 guys at times. So a little bit different philosophy there. Also, if you look at, I mean, like you said, like you talk about that secondary, Bobby Taylor, Troy Vincent, Brian Dawkins, that secondary was the strong point unit for that team, and right now it's the defensive line. You look at Brandon Graham, Vinnie Curry, Benny Logan, Fletcher Cox, obviously. So a little bit different with the defense. The offenses were very similar. The head coaches were very similar, but defense a little bit different.
Yeah, that 99 team, I mean, the big difference is, really just really good cornerbacks, great depth at the cornerback position. And now we head into this season, And Eagles at the cornerback position, I mean, there's a lot of question marks. I think that Eagles have a lot. They've got great potential there with Rowe, but besides that, lots of questions. We have to see if McKelvin can step up and play the way he did before under Schwartz, and then you also have to see if Nolan Carroll can come back from his season-ending injury last year. So tons of question marks on the cornerback position on this team. They do have depth at the cornerback position this season, but like I said, just lots of question marks when it was really an exclamation point for the '99 team.
Yeah, in '99, you remember Jim Johnson loved to dial up the blitz, so you would send disguises, send the safety, send the linebackers, whereas Jim Schwartz is going to employ more of a getting pressure with the front four and playing back in the back seven. So, I mean, the talent's there, especially at the safety position this year. I love that tandem of McLeod and Jenkins. Yeah, we do have plenty of depth at the corner. Luckily, McKelvin, was successful under Schwartz. I haven't seen him play much, but he knows the system. So I would totally see him being a starter there. And then you got Rowe and Carroll on the other side. And then, you really worry about the linebackers position. I mean, we're pretty short in depth there. Nigel Bradham has history with Jim Schwartz, but I mean, other than Kendricks and Hicks, who have injury problems, similar to '99, really all you had was Trotter, and he was young. He was only 22 back then. I think we had Willie T as well, William Thomas. But not much there at linebacker. So we gotta be effective with that front four pass rush in order to stop the big plays and help out the corners.
This is where I want to tie in because ESPN did its annual future rankings a couple days ago, and they ranked the Eagles 24th. So if you look back then, that '99 team, it basically retained much of the team for the next couple years. It was basically the same kind of team. Hugh Douglas, I mean, sure, they kind of signed free agents maybe in like 2004. You had Javon Curse, you had Terrell Owens, but for the next couple years after '99, it was basically the same unit, same secondary. Hugh Douglas, Deuce Staley. They did bring in Brian Westbrook. I don't know, when was that? Like 2003, I think. So it's basically the same receivers. Receivers were basically the same. Chad Lewis made more of an impact at tight end, but basically, you kept your unit, and they progressively got better each season. So it's going to have to be like that now because there's not going to be a lot of money to spend. Harry Roseman threw out all that cash, locked up your core, with extensions, signed some younger free agents. So we shall see how this team progresses.
Yeah, well, what that ESPN thing tells me is that they don't have much faith in Howie Roseman's drafting ability, and and they may be right. That's really where this whole Roseman back in charge thing and Peterson tenure could really falter and come to a quick end. Is if the Eagles aren't able to draft. Roseman, he's had some issues with it in the past, and we're at a time now where there's no second chances here for Roseman. I mean, he can't falter again. There's not going to be a third chance. I mean, he already came back from the dead, so he's if he's able to draft well though for the next few years, then I think the Eagles are set up pretty nicely, considering that they just went out this year and were able to move up to the second pick and get their future quarterback. So we'll see, but I think that a lot of those rankings has to do with how ESPN feels about Roseman's, drafting for the future.
And also a big thing is Carson Wentz. Having faith, is Carson Wentz the guy? I mean, if he happens to not pan out, I mean, we set our franchise back for years. So I think that's the number one thing. All these moves, giving up future assets, future picks to move up, get Carson, spending all this money to lock up your core, allows you to, just you basically have to rely on the draft, like Mike said. I mean, you can't spend much on free agency where our money's kind of tied up. So, Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on Howie, and you know, he's shown in the past to have some bad moments in the draft, but I think he made do with what he could this year. Got our hopefully future franchise quarterback and a couple other pieces. Yeah, it's going to be it's not the most promising thing to have to rely on Howie Roseman. I think he's got some more time to get on at least Adrian's good side, but I think for this year, as long as Carson Wentz, we can build around him. We already got a lot of pieces locked up. It's a lot's going to come down to Carson Wentz and like you said, Howie Roseman.
Yep, it's all about this guy. Here he is. Here he is. Ginger Jesus, baby. But, hey, going back to Roseman, see, he got to mask his deficiencies this offseason because he's pretty good at handing out contracts. He's good with the numbers. He's a math geek. And he's pretty good at manipulating with trades. So he was able to move up to number 2. But now, the next couple years, it's all going to be about his weaknesses. So hopefully he can improve on shit that he wasn't good at in the past. This year in the late rounds, he kind of took some chances with some players that had a little bit of some character issues, you could say. Something that Chip Kelly, he never embraced. He's never going to bring in a guy like Jalen Mills. So there you go with that. But hey, we shall see. I mean, here's the key. You're going to have to be able to pluck some starters in the middle rounds of the draft. That's the key to this whole thing. So we'll see if he can do that. He was able to kind of lock up a core. So I mean, am I really confident in the core? I don't know yet. I mean, I'm big on Carson Wentz, so I'm cool with that. But I do think he did spend just a little bit too much money with some of the players.
Yeah. I mean, you go and you really look at this year's draft, and I mean, to me, it's a little concerning. Yeah. I mean, he did a great job being able to trade up to number 2 and get Carson Wentz, but you look at the later rounds then, we didn't have that many picks. And, I was, some of the picks I was kind of hoping that they would go in a different direction. So for me, this year's draft, it really wasn't that impressive after the Carson Wentz pick. I thought that they could have done better. I think that they actually did a better job with, some of the 7th round picks that they got. Maybe Jalen Mills turns into something. Blake Countless, you never know. But, a lot of the undrafted guys that they signed may end up, being better than some of the guys that they actually drafted in the draft. So that's a little concerning there with Roseman going forward. So, they did bring in a guy to help out with all the draft stuff and the scouting. But it's hard to imagine that he's going to have, any say over Roseman. I mean, Roseman's going to have the final say. So it's a scary thought. I mean, really, when you look at this whole situation, we're not going to be able to judge Roseman for another about 3 years because it takes a while for to grade these drafts. So that's the tough part, and we really won't know how this whole plan is going to work out until we really get to see Wentz play for a year or two.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I hope Wendell Smallwood surprises a couple people. That's kind of my X factor there. But no, Jalen Mills, also, good value in the 7th round. Some of the undrafted guys, might come in and make the team and provide some depth. We got some depth on the offensive line. Kind of like the '99 draft. Besides McNabb, I mean, there wasn't much more there. John Welborn was a starter for a little bit. Cecil the Diesel Martin was a fullback for a little bit. That's really all we got besides McNabb in the '99 draft. So, it kind of similar drafts there as far as '99 and 2016 goes as well.
Yeah, we'll see about Smallwood's the guy that everyone's raving about in those little mini camps that they did. So he looked good in gym shorts. Congratulations. Now let's see what you can really do. So we'll see. Jalen Mills is another guy that they're really raving about. I mean, I think Mills is probably going to be the best guy. He might be, besides Wentz. I mean, that's what it kind of seems like. We'll see. Sayamalo, I've been watching some tape. I'm not really that impressed. But, again, I could be wrong. I mean, I was wrong about Jordan Hicks last year, so you never know. But, hey, we all want them to win. I just don't like Howie Roseman. I think he's a fucking loser.
Yeah, well, I think when we go back and we look at, this year's draft in like 2 or 3 years, you mentioned the two guys there that we're really going to be looking at. It's going to be how does Sam Aliu play out. I think that if we want to call it a good draft, I think that he's going to have to really develop into a starter for a long time here. And then you look at Smallwood, and you got to hope that he can be really a second guy on your depth chart at the running back position. I don't think anyone expects Smallwood to be, your top back in this league, considering where they took him. But I think in order for it to be a good draft, you got to hope that he's able to put up, pretty solid numbers. You're hoping maybe for 500 yards out of him on the ground and some touchdowns, but. I'm just not that high on Smallwood, and I just don't think he's going to be able to put up those type of numbers. I think that he's more of a, Sproles type of guy. I think he's always going to be like maybe a third down back, but I don't think he has the firepower to really produce that much.
Yeah, we all wanted Kenneth Dixon instead of, what was that, in the third round. I think that's when we picked Isaac instead of Kenneth. Isaac Seumalo instead of Kenneth Dixon. But you never know. Hopefully surprises some people. Ryan Westbrook was a little undersized coming from Villanova, third
Let's
round.
not compare Wendell Smallwood to Brian Westbrook.
No, I'm not. But just saying. He can. I think Mike hit it on the head. If you can get a combined 500 between receiving and rushing and a couple touchdowns. I mean, that'd be great as a complimentary back. We still got Sproles in the mix, and obviously, hopefully, Ryan Matthews stays healthy. Jalen Mills, I like we said, we really like, especially in the 7th round. So, we'll see. I know, Howie's got a lot of work to do as far as the rest of the years to make up for his past mistakes, but he'll never be on Adrian's good side, actually.
Well, probably not.
Probably never.
If he wins the Super Bowl? Probably not. I mean, hey, he did get Carson Wentz, so that at least, it got me back in the circle. Just in the circle. See, it's not in the circle of trust, though, yet. We're not all the way there, but I'm like on the outside of the perimeter. I'm like out there, So
almost poking your way in.
Yeah, exactly.
One good thing he did was bring in, shore up our offensive line, which was a disaster last year. And that was one of the big things Andy Reid, going back to '99, loved to do. I mean, he wasn't on I don't think he was on the team yet in '99, but in 2000 he brought in John Runyon. John Welborn came in and plugged in as one of the starters. And we had Jermaine Mayberry, and then around then, that next year, did Jamal Jackson come in. And we already had Trey Thomas on the left tackle. So, offensive line is key, and that'll help. It's one of the biggest positions in the whole game, protecting the quarterback and giving them time to find the open guy.
Yeah, we'll see about Brandon Brooks. I've been doing some of the rankings that I do every year, and he was like my 20th ranked guard. So, I mean, he's okay. I think people are overhyping him too, because there are better guards out there than Brandon Brooks. But he's a good signing because we've had nobody. So again, it's fine. John Runyon, though, oh man, that was a great signing. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Oh, John Runyon, baby, John. Dude.
He just ate defensive linemen for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, the only one that made mincemeat of him was always Michael Strahan. Michael Strahan always fucked him up. But yeah, I love John Runyon, man. Oh, that brings me back to the glory years. So yeah, I mean, hey, I think this team has some potential. I'm not expecting big things this year, just like that team. But maybe Wentz can get going next year. Maybe we can make a wild card berth next year. I mean, that's kind of like the what we did in '99. '99 went 5-11. 2000 go to 11-5. Made the playoffs. Won a wild card game. So maybe that's what they can do next year.
Yeah, I think really the biggest thing this year that everyone is really going to be keeping an eye on in Philadelphia and around the league is how soon does Carson Wentz get in there? I mean, it only took the Eagles. Doug Peterson started 9 games in '99 before McNabb came in and started the rest of the season. So, how long does it take for the Eagles, to put Wentz in there? I mean, they've said all along that they're really going to rest Wentz this year. The way the Eagles say, it looks like they're going to try to rest him the entire season and not play him. But I just think deep down, something's going to happen. Either it's going to be an injury to Bradford. Bradford's not going to perform up to the standards. And then eventually you'll get Wentz in there. I think that Wentz will probably get in there, sometime during the second half of the season. I think it's just bound to happen. The way this whole thing has gone with all the similarities with Peterson and Andy Reid, hey, why not have Wentz in there for, starting the 10th game of the season? It would just be pretty much the same thing as '99.
Yeah, that's really true. I just don't think we'll be 2-7 at that point, like we were in '99.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I think we play the Browns week 1. There's no way that's only half of our wins in the first 9 weeks. But I mean, God forbid, that would suck. I think we'll definitely see Carson at some point. I mean, you know what? What's funny? We're only like a month away or less. I mean, I'm really excited to just see him on the field in a preseason game. That's what's great about this year. We can look forward to the preseason games, see how this all. I mean, just seeing the Eagles on the field in the preseason, just they're there. Football's back. I mean, yeah, that's coming so soon. But yeah, will Carson play as much as McNabb did in '99? Time will tell.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that '99 team was a lot. There was a lot less talent. Doug Peterson stunk. So, to go 2-7, I mean, you might as well put McNabb in there. And if this team starts 2-7, you're going to put Wentz in there. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. But, I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying, like, 2-7 might happen. I'm not kidding. Like, I don't think this team is very good. And the schedule is very, very difficult. So, I'm seeing, like, 6-10 this year. So, we'll see. I mean, honestly, if I was Doug Peterson, I would start Wentz right from the beginning. I don't even give a fuck. I would just do it. I don't care. So, but Sammy Sleeve's going to have to play.
Yeah, well, I think that, you're talking about that as possible that the Eagles start off 2-7, and it could be very possible because, the one thing with this team is they have there's a lot of question marks on this team. I mean, you look at some of the star guys that we have on this team. All right, yeah. If you consider Ryan Matthews our top back, well, he's injury prone. If he goes down, we're very limited depth behind him at the running back position. You even look at the tight end spot. If Zach Ertz goes down, we don't really have many pass catchers at the tight end position. Wide receiver, Jordan Matthews goes down, we're pretty much screwed there. Linebacker, we've already talked that we're extremely limited at linebacker. All 3 of our starting linebackers have an injury history, so if any of them go down, we're in deep trouble. Then at the cornerback position, we kind of talked about this before. There's a lot of question marks there, and we're really expecting a lot from Eric Rowe. But if Eric Rowe doesn't perform, then you're really in big trouble. I mean, the one spot that they're kind of looking good at is a safety position. They should be fine there, but besides that, lots of question marks. And the other problem is the schedule that they're going to have. After the Browns, it gets tough, and especially the second half of the season, that's where the schedule really picks up. A lot of division games, a lot of tough opponents, and it's not going to be easy. We'll see. I think that really, if you're looking at it from an Eagles perspective, I think a doomsday scenario for them would be that they come out week 1, they throw up a clunker against the Browns at home. For Bradford, well, he'll be grabbing his towel and his tissues, and he'll be crying his way off the field, and the crowd will be chanting for Carson Wentz. And, well, geez, Doug Peterson will have one hell of a decision to make already.
Yeah, well, I mean, you brought up all the worst case scenarios possible. If all the positions we're really thin at, obviously, if injuries happen in football. If Hicks goes down, Bradham goes down, or Kendricks, and then our cornerbacks, and then running back, obviously, we'd be in shambles, especially right around the halfway point in the season. We do have a really tough 4-game stretch where we hit the Packers, Seahawks, Bengals, Ravens. And we played the Steelers early on in the season, not long after the Browns. So it's a lot of tough games in there for sure. I mean, best case scenario is 7 to 9 wins. Obviously, worst case scenario, 5-6 wins, and then we get almost a repeat of 99. So we can't predict the future. We just gotta hope for a healthy roster. And I mean, obviously, if we're 2-7. Yeah, Carson Wentz is going in. Get him in. Get his experience. But hopefully we don't have to deal with that, or I'll be very upset.
Yeah, best case scenario, Sam Bradford took steroids during the off season. He gets suspended for PEDs, and Carson Wentz is in.
Yeah, right. You see those arms on Bradford? He's not taking any steroids.
Oh man, he's got like Brandon Ingram's built there. It's insane. Yeah, so that's about it for this show. I got 2 more shows coming tonight. Kyle Gaffner and I will be doing a Phillies and a basketball show on Dario Saric. So that's going to be coming up pretty soon. As for this show, we're on to final thoughts time.
Yeah, so I've got 2 final thoughts. First one, I don't know why I just realized this, but Dave Phipp, our special teams coordinator, and Sam Bradford are identical twins. If you gave Bradford short hair, they look exactly the same. Just bring up a picture of Phipp, and those guys are twins.
They do have the bug eyes thing going.
Yeah, they got the bug eyes. My second final thought is that I think that once Wentz really starts to become the starter here full time, the Eagles are going to have a tough decision to make in their the mascot department, because I think Henley is going to have to take over as the mascot of our team, because he's one good-looking dog and Carson Wentz is one good-looking guy, so that would be quite the combination to have. I think Swoop might have to get the axe.
Oh, Swoop, dude! The Eagle is the king of the sky. He'll take Henley and his talons and throw him in that lake that Carson was had him on the wave runner with. But no, yeah, I love big dog fan. Henley's a cute dog. My final thought is we're 1 week closer to training camp. Bring it on. Watch the Sixers and Philly shows later.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm going to be having some training camp preview stuff for PhillyInfluencer.com coming up starting this week. So every positional preview you want, I'm going to be providing it. So, and we're doing a training camp preview next week for this show. So can't wait for that as well. Football's right around the corner, guys. We're right fucking there. I cannot wait. Oh, my God, we're right there. So with that being said, Mike Owens, Jeremy Burton, I'm Adrian Fedq. Peace out.
Later.